How's it going, Guardians? Shifty here, and today I'm back with my weekly vendor video. For those of you who don't know, in these videos I like to go over all of the vendor armor and weapon rolls for the week. I generally talk about some decent Banshee weapons and any standout vendor armor. At the end of the video I show off footage of the remaining armor and vendor rolls for the week. So before I get into all that, if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright, so this week in terms of armor, there doesn't seem to be anything that is amazing. So with that said, I'm going to be starting with the Banshee weapons. Before I talk about any specific weapon rolls this week, I do want to mention that these weapon perks will change again at 7 PM Central on Wednesday. That means if you want any of the weapon rolls that you see in this video, you'll have to grab them before that time. However, that also means if there's a weapon that's generally considered good but it has bad perks right now, they could change for the better at Wednesday at 7 PM. So the first weapon I want to talk about kind of falls into that category. We have the Nightwatch Kinetic Scout Rifle, and this has Threat Detector and Demolitionist with a handling masterwork. Now overall, this is an excellent scout rifle whenever there are any anti-champion scout rifle mods. This particular roll is not terrible, but it could change for the better on Wednesday. Some of the perks you might want to look for then are Rapid Hit or Explosive Payload. The next weapon I want to talk about is the Eternal Blazon Arc Scout Rifle. Again, this makes another excellent choice whenever there are any anti-champion scout rifle mods. This particular roll is great whenever you have an anti-barrier scout rifle mod available. The reason being is this has disruption break, so if you break a barrier champion's shield, it will take more kinetic damage for a short time. Not only that, but you have Flared Magwell and Killing Wind, which are not bad perks at all. With all of that said, I would highly recommend picking up this scout rifle before it changes. Next up, I want to talk about Tarantula. We already know there are some great linear fusion rifles out there like Threaded Needle. However, Tarantula would give you the option of having an arc linear fusion rifle. Now the perks here aren't amazing. Of course you have Rampage, which is a decent option. I do recommend this if you want to add an arc linear fusion rifle to your collection, especially with the particle deconstruction mod this season. I would probably pick this one up for now if you have the material to spare, but always check back on Wednesday night at 7 PM Central. This could definitely have a better roll then. And the final weapons I want to talk about are the class specific swords. This week Banshee is selling all 3 class specific swords. Of course you have to head to Banshee on that specific class to see that particular sword. There are 2 out of the 3 that I would recommend this week. First you have Eternity's Edge, which is a vortex frame solar sword, and this is for warlocks only. Overall, the perks here are actually pretty good, especially for ad clear. Then if you head on over and look at the Quick Fang sword for hunters, you'll notice this is a pretty great roll as well. Overall, I would recommend picking up the Warlock and Hunter sword. Alright, next up I want to move on and talk about any standout armor rolls for each class. Like I mentioned earlier, the armor rolls this week aren't great, so pretty much everything I talk about in this video is going to be an honorable mention. Now, I would normally start with Warlocks, but the armor for Warlocks this week was so bad that I couldn't even find anything that I would feel comfortable recommending to even new players. So that means I'm going to move on and immediately start with Titans. The 2 armor pieces I'm going to recommend for Titans this week are going to be primarily for newer players. And by newer players, I mean extremely new, because the overall total stat for these 2 pieces are going to be low. So the first piece is sold by Shaxx, and it's chest armor with 25 discipline, 12 recovery, and 10 resilience. Now some of you may be seeing why I'm recommending this piece to new players. You of course have 25 discipline, which is going to get you a quarter of the way to having tier 10 discipline, so you'll get your grenade back faster. Then you also have 12 recovery, so you can heal faster. And you also have 10 resilience, so you're going to get your barricade back just a little bit quicker as well. Now this does have a total stat of only 53. So even for newer players, it will likely be replaced pretty quickly in the future. However, if you have the legendary shards and glimmer, I would recommend picking this up if you don't have anything better yet. The next piece falls into the same sort of situation. It's leg armor sold by Shaxx, and has 24 discipline, 14 resilience, and 10 recovery. Again, discipline will help you get your grenade back quicker, recovery will help you heal faster, and resilience will help lower the cooldown on your barricade. With that said, I want to move on to hunters now. Devrim Kay is selling leg armor with 21 strength, 16 recovery, and 13 mobility. Now as you can see here, the total stat is 60, so it's significantly better than the total stat for those 2 Titan pieces. However, this piece kind of falls into the scenario where total stat doesn't mean everything. That 13 mobility will help you get your dodge back faster on a hunter. The 16 recovery is going to help you heal faster. Recovery is always good for every class. But here you have 21 out of the 60 total stat points in strength. Now strength is probably one of the most useless stats for hunters in general. If you're going for a melee focused hunter build, you're generally going to use Gambler's Dodge to get your melee ability back. However, in the off chance that you are using a melee focused hunter build without Gambler's Dodge, That 21 strength will help you get your charged melee ability back faster. Moving on to the last piece for hunters, we have leg armor at A to 1. Again, this piece is probably going to be for newer players, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because of that 26 intellect. If you enjoy using your super and you want it back as quick as possible, that 26 strength will get you a quarter of the way to tier 10 intellect, which is tied to your super cooldown. Anyway, that is all I have for the Banshee weapon rolls and vendor armor rolls for the week. Unfortunately, the armor wasn't great at all this week. It's always more exciting making these videos when I actually have decent armor to recommend, especially to players who are just getting back into the game. Now I'm going to end off the video by showing you footage of the remaining armor and vendor rolls for the week. If you want to stick around and check that out, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I hope that you have a good day and I'll catch you on the next one.